fabled heat, where magic meets desire. Subscribe to ignite the fantasy.
The air in Bunker Epsilon tasted like stale recycled oxygen and something else, something metallic, like fear. It clung to the back of my throat, a constant reminder of the impending doom. Sweat slicked my palms despite the chill that permeated the concrete walls. 3 hours. 3 hours until the atmospheric disruption General Petrov had warned us about reached critical mass, until the sky fractured and, well, no one truly knew what would happen then. Extinction was the favored prediction. Dr. Elias Thorne, stood rigidly beside Dr. Liam Reed, my gaze fixed on the crimson numbers of the countdown timer. Each tick felt like a hammer blow against my ribs. 2:58:17, 2:58:16. Liam's profile was etched against the flickering emergency lights, the strong line of his jaw, the dark sweep of his eyelashes, the way his brow furrowed in concentration. I'd known Liam for 5 years, shared countless late nights in the lab, debated theoretical physics until dawn, but I'd never really seen him like this, not with the weight of the world pressing down on us both. General Petrov's voice, gravelly and devoid of inflection, crackled over the comms system. "Status report, doctors." It wasn't a question, it was a demand. "Still running diagnostics on the device, General," I replied, my voice sounding unnaturally high-pitched even to my own ears. "Dr. Chen is initiating the stabilization sequence now." Petrov grunted. "Stabilization is optimistic, Doctor. We're past stabilization, we're looking at mitigation. And frankly, I'm not holding my breath." The line went dead, charming. That's when Dr. Chen made his move. He'd been unusually quiet all day, a stark contrast to his normally boisterous personality. Now his movements were precise, almost frantic, as he input the final command into the alien console. His eyes, usually twinkling with scientific curiosity, gleamed with a disturbing mix of fear and desperate determination. He looked haunted. The device itself was a marvel and a terror. Recovered from the Siberian crash site 6 months ago, it was a seamless obsidian sphere covered in glyphs that defied all known linguistic analysis. It pulsed with an internal light, a cold, ethereal blue that seemed to drain the color from the room. As Chen initiated the sequence, the humming intensified, vibrating through the floor and up into my bones. It wasn't a sound you heard asterisk so much as felt. "Energy levels are rising exponentially," Chen announced, his voice strained. "The device is attempting to establish a resonant frequency with the atmospheric disturbance." I glanced at Liam. He hadn't taken his eyes off the sphere. His knuckles were white as he gripped the edge of the console. I felt a strange pull towards him, a magnetic force that had nothing to do with physics. It was a longing, a desperate need for connection in the face of oblivion. And then his hand brushed against mine. A jolt, sharp and unexpected, shot up my arm. It wasn't just physical contact, it was electricity, a spark of something raw and undeniable. My breath hitched in my throat. I risked a glance at Liam and our eyes met. His were the color of storm clouds, swirling with a complexity of emotions I couldn't decipher. Fear, yes, but also something else. A vulnerability that mirrored my own, a flicker of hope, or perhaps something far more dangerous. The room erupted into chaos. Alarms blared, red lights strobed, and the console sparked and sputtered. Chen shouted something about a feedback loop, but his words were lost in the din. The air crackled with energy, and the metallic tang of fear intensified. But through it all I was lost in the intensity of Liam's gaze, lost in the warmth of his hand still lingering against mine. It was a forbidden connection, a dangerous distraction in the face of annihilation. We were colleagues, bound by scientific duty, not this overwhelming, terrifying, and exhilarating pull. "Elijah," Liam's voice cut through the noise, surprisingly calm. "We need to recalibrate the energy flow. Chen's losing control." I blinked, forcing myself to focus. He was right. Chen was frantically trying to override the system, but the device was responding too quickly, too powerfully. "What do you suggest?" I asked, my voice barely a whisper. "Manual override. I need you to access the core regulator. It's behind the shielding panel." He pointed to a heavy steel door on the far side of the room. "It's risky. The energy discharge could be lethal." Lethal, of course, as if the atmospheric disruption wasn't enough. I hesitated for a fraction of a second. Was this a suicide mission? But looking into Liam's eyes, seeing the unwavering determination there, I knew I had no choice. "I'll do it," I said, my voice gaining strength. "Be careful," Liam said, his grip tightening on my hand for a fleeting moment before I pulled away. "And Elijah," he paused, his gaze searching mine. If this doesn't work, I wanted you to know. He didn't finish the sentence. He didn't need to. The unspoken words hung heavy in the air, charged with the same electricity that had coursed through me moments before. I nodded, unable to speak, and turned towards the shielding panel. Each step felt weighted, each breath a struggle. As I reached for the release mechanism, I glanced back at Liam one last time. He was watching me, his expression unreadable. The fate of the world, and perhaps something far more personal, rested on my shoulders. The countdown continued its relentless march. 2:47:32, 2:47:31. It was now or never. I braced myself and pulled.